They said that university was coming anytime now.
Did you know the university's coming anytime now?
No way. And if you start university without getting laid, you might as well slit your wrists and jump in the river. Snurf. Well, this year, something different's coming along.
Yeah?
It's called the Whiskey, Wine, and Wisdom Podcast.
Wow.
And it's even better than getting your dick wet.
Yeah?
Sure. Episode 21, Whiskey, Wine, and Wisdom.
Why isn't it wet yet? And James.
Episode 21 of the Whiskey, Wine, and Wisdom Podcast, featuring my friend James.
And my friend Dan. And Dogcast.
Oh yes, Joe the dog. He's here licking his own penis. Sensual.
What? No.
No, so this week we will be doing... Well, this is the... So it's... You're doing nuclear people. Is that how you...
So it was suggested by a long-term listener.
Long-term. Real stalwart.
Yeah. About, people who possibly survived radioactivity situations.
Yeah.
Well, there's not a fucking lot of them. so it's basically...
James got that.
Yeah, a couple of people who did, and some other stories about it. And there's not very many of them, because I got fucking bummed out reading them all. So, yeah.
So, and I did... He said, "Oh, about that," and I said, "That's a good idea." And then I said, "I'll do people who survive just things that they shouldn't have." I was like on the other side of it. So mine was gratifying, and I learned a lot about the human spirit and how wonderful and sort of magical survival and all these things can be. And James had a little cry.
Yeah.
So that may not have been fair, but neither is life, especially when radiation is concerned.
Oh, terrible.
So I think I might have more facts than James today, but that's okay because we'll pay some out.
Some of mine are pretty in-depth and quite long anyway, so some of
okay,
mine, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So should we 1-2 spaff that?
I think we should do that out of tradition, but if you got more, you go first anyway.
Okay. All
So
right. Well, we'll do spaff just to see who the winner of the day is.
Just go with rock, and then that's it. That's done. Ready?
Okay.
Cool. 1, 2. You actually went with rock. I actually went with scissors. I just don't win these things.
It's been like 10 weeks. It's crazy. I mean, statistically, I shouldn't be winning. Like, it's insane.
Like my facts.
I'll tell you what, mate, you actually, no, you did pick it this week. I don't understand. So,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do for you, mate. I'm sorry.
That's cool.
So next week you can do geese.
Unicorns.
I don't know if there's enough facts out of unicorns. If you want, do unicorns.
No.
I think that'd be difficult.
Yeah.
What about birds?
I hate birds.
Okay, well that could be interesting then, because you might find out
Yeah.
you could do one on bird strike.
Oh dear. Although it's funny because I remember when my brother, he was working in one of the airports, like the stairwells. They're going up basically.
And he kicked a goose.
He kicked a goose right in the face.
Right in the fucking face.
And he said it was funny because
Honk.
he just saw like a bird print on a window, and as he's going up, so well, that bird obviously didn't know that as a window, and it's just the image of that was funny. Yeah, splatty bird.
I was at where was I? Oh God, what was it? It was at I think it was like a bus station or something. No, it was a garage. I was waiting in the waiting room, and there's a few people waiting there, and my car was at MOT or something, and a bird flew straight into the window, and everyone was like, you know that thing where you're sitting there and everyone's just waiting, and it's just like there's that weird silence. Everyone's just reading magazines that they don't want to read. Everyone's bored out of their fucking minds. It's like a waiting room at doctors or something, and then this bird slams into the window. Everyone goes, and one guy points at it, and goes, clean, and just dog. Seriously, mate, you're already ruining the podcast.
He's just sneezing.
He's just sneezing because he's upside down and just snarfing around the place. Anyway.
But it reminds me of college. There's a little walkway. So we'd go into college, we'd go around to our music department bit.
Oh, sorry, mate.
That's
Dog just hurt the boy. That's how the man.
And as you walk around the corner, there's like a little I don't know, it's like a little mini corridor about the size of a door. But it's like wooden slats above it. and there's just little bird's legs and pelvis hanging out, completely to the bones, nothing on it. That's obviously been there for ages and no one's had the heart to touch it. So I'd always remember bird leg corridor.
Bird leg corridor's like I don't know, like Alice in Chains song or something.
Meow, 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 bird legs on your corridor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Number one, locked away, sorted. Alright, my first person, because it's people this week. These are people. The most interesting facts of all. Vesna Volovic. Which is a hell of a name. Sounds like a bad guy in a Stranger Things.
Yeah.
A flight attendant and the sole survivor of the 1972 crash of JAT Flight 367. Holds the Guinness World Record for surviving the longest fall. 33,000 feet. Without a parachute. That's what that's setting. 33,000 feet. Anyway, so explosives detonated on the plane's luggage compartment. The plane broke apart mid-air above Czechoslovakia. Sorry. It's fruit pastels. That's the most crinkly thing I can imagine right next to a microphone. I'm thinking.
I'm trying to move it away so the dog doesn't get it, so you can get to some.
It was yeah. No, Stan. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Stupid dog. Anyway, sorry, the dog cast is taking a turn. Alright. The other passengers were most likely sucked outside of the plane as it broke up, but Volovic stayed in the fuselage, wedged in by a food cart, and fell onto the ground. Now, the plane, as I say, broke apart. She was in a chunk of plane which fell 33,000 feet. No parachute, just fell. The trees and snow probably helped cushion some of the fall, and against all odds, Volovic survived. The only one of the 28 passengers on the crew to do so. Okay?
Yeah.
Her injuries included broken legs,
Standard.
broken vertebrae, a fractured skull, temporary paralysis. She was also comatose for a good chunk of her recovery. Volovic was able to walk again less than a year after the crash. She had no memory of the flight after boarding, though her first memory was seeing her parents in hospital. Remarkably, she continued flying and even tried to get her old job as a flight attendant back from the company.
Oh no.
That the airline declined on the basis of her health, because she's like, I wanna. Where's your like a peanut? What? My God, what happened to your legs? My plane exploded. She's like,
let me serve you with my strong hand.
Volovic speculated they just didn't want so much publicity about the accident. She also disagreed when people referred to her as lucky, pointing out that if she was truly lucky, she never would have been in a plane that exploded in the first place.
Yeah.
She died in 2016 at the age of 66, which honestly isn't that bad.
No, I'm not even
33,000 feet. She just chunk of plane, fell, landed in a pile of trees and snow.
Yeah.
Mental.
That sounds horrible.
Well, I mean, yeah. Stan, you suck all of the. All right, I'm going to take this over here. Sorry for the crinkling.
Right, it's done.
So this week the tradition will be that I chew on fruit pastels while James says things, and James do the same when it's my turn. Okay.
Vice versa.
Okay. So dog's licking my knee now out of anxiety because he's a little choda-toad.
Choda-toad.
Okay. All right. Jambles.
I think that sounds. I know it's like the trees are going to cushion you, and the snow is soft as well, but you're still going to have all that broken stuff.
33,000 feet.
That's a big. That's a big way.
No, I can't really. What is 33,000 feet in metres? Well, that's 10,058 metres. So that's 10 kilometres. So she fell 10 kilometres.
That's a long way.
That's quite far, isn't it?
That's 2 park runs.
She double park runned it. Bloody hell. Her cardio must have been awesome.
Dedication to the course.
And rather than with a normal race, she got faster the further she got into it.
See, I'm the opposite.
No, I am too.
Yeah.
Peak out mile 1 and crash by mile 2.
I started. I'm like, you know what? This is not bad. Yeah. I'm not even done the first kilometre yet. I'm like, I've got a good pace. Oh, I think I might start doing little 10 seconds bursts of walks. And it seems like I've been running for ever. And it's like, yeah, you've done half a kilometre. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get your second wind, and then you get third wind, and you're you're like, I'm going to do this. And you look, it's like, 3/4 of a kilometre. God damn it. Anyway, Jamble, tell me horrible things.
Well, first person.
Oh.
This guy called Melvin from New Jersey.
Melvin.
He was actually foiled by the mayor's bullies. Melvin was dumped into a vat of radioactive waste, only to redeem as a toxic avenger. New Jersey's first superhero actually known as a toxic. No, that is my fluff fact. I love the toxic avenger films. They're so nonsense.
New one's coming out soon.
I know.
Of Dinklage.
I think he's a bit of a legend.
Back with fruit pastels. Sorry, I'm fruit pastels.
ASMR.
Talk away.
Oh dear.
So fruity.
Albert Stevens.
I'll be quiet. Sorry.
Albert Stevens. Born in 1887 to 1887 to 1966.
Okay.
Also known as patient Cow-1, the most radioactive human ever.
Okay.
He was a house painter from Ohio who was subject to an involuntary human radioactive experiment and survived the highest known accumulated radiation dose in any human. So I read that first bit when reading the facts. I was like, involuntary experiment. How would that be a thing? And I looked up. There's lots of things in America and some bits in Britain as well of people just going, we need to test this radioactive stuff, see what effect it has on humans and stuff like that. We've tried all the mice, whatever, and they go like this person explains further, but he's in a situation, he's ill, he don't know. It's like a whole placebo effect. This is going to heal you, and you see this is not going to heal you, but they've done it without his knowledge.
Yeah,
and so that's just fucking scary. But he gets his own back because survivor number 1. Where did I get to? That's why the highest known accumulation. So the highest known accumulation of radiation dose of any human. On May the 14th, 1945, he was injected with 131 kBq. I tried looking up the values of things. I get stuck with it. But of plutonium, without his knowledge, because he was incorrectly believed that he had a terminal disease, a cancerous stomach ulcer. So he was in hospital thinking he's got a cancerous stomach ulcer, and he's to help him with it, they said, we've got this injection to help you. He didn't know it was plutonium, they didn't know it was radiation, stuff like that. But the plutonium remained present in his body for the remainder of his life. The amount decaying slowly through radioactivity decay and biological elimination. Stevens died of a heart disease some 20 years later. So after he had the radiation first put in like a super stupid amount, he died from heart disease later. But Stevens would become the first patient to get the plutonium-238 injection in California. It reports the nuclear museum unknowingly receiving a dose that was considered to be many times the so-called lethal textbook dose. So that was written by Jacques G. Richards in the Serious Misapplications of Military Research. As a radioactive isotope, plutonium-238 is significant because 276 is 276 times more radioactive than plutonium-239, which was also included in this cocktail, the injection. So he's basically stung with 2 sets of radioactivity, which is like stupid amounts over the lethal amount that any human should be able to take. But he bossed it. He survived it, and he just died of a heart failure afterwards. It's like
it was a good. It was 1960s. So he was like in his 80s, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So that's not too bad.
Yeah, 87 to 66. So it was that. Yeah.
Quick maths gone.
79.
So nearly 80.
Yeah. But I think the bit that just got me on that one is people just sticking radioactivity stuff in you without even knowing, just because
a lot of involuntary experiments over the years. I think there's a I read a piece about why this is during COVID, or in America the the black community were so. They didn't trust. They were like, I'm not taking. They didn't. The vaccination rates were very low in African American communities because in the 60s, I believe, they did a lot of testing on black guys. So they were just like, and you come out years later, they were like just dosing them up with all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, just see what happens. Just like, well, we need to know what happens with this. Give it to some black kids. Okay, cool. And it was just like, goddamn America, come on. Because turns out there's been some issues with racism in the States in the past. So I know, you hate to think it, but it's just Salvador Alvarenga. Got some cracking names today. Salvador Alvarenga. My name is Dan Ward. It's such a boring name. It's not Salvador Alvarenga. Alvarenga.
You need to say that with a twirly moustache.
Alvarenga. You have to imagine that I'm twirling my moustache. I am, a little bit.
I can see it. You guys can't, but it's
Salvador Alvarenga. Alvarenga. It's like revenge at the end of your name. Anyway, he's a 36-year-old fisherman, right? Now, this little fishy man, he survived for 14 months, lost at sea.
Okay. And
washed ashore nearly 7,000 miles from where he originally set sail, which actually isn't that, considering how long he was at sea, isn't. Anyway, so in 2012, Alvarenga and his 22-year-old companion Ezequiel Cordoba got caught in a severe storm while attempting to head back to the coast of Mexico after a fishing trip. Their boat was a 25-foot long and virtually invisible at sea. Apparently it was dark coloured and you couldn't be seen. Alvarenga's last words to shore before going missing were, "Come now, I'm getting really fucked out here." Which I thought was really funny. The engine had failed and the waves were pushing them further and further into the open water. The pair caught fish and seabirds by hand, sometimes drying the meat and sometimes consuming it raw. Oh. They worked out a system to collect rainwater. However, 2 months into their ordeal, Cordoba, his the 22-year-old companion, sunk into a very deep depression. He stopped accepting food and water and died soon after. This was after 2 months, okay? Now, you might remember that he was at sea for 14 months.
So, two months with someone and a year without.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, Alvarenga was devastated to lose his only companion, and he spoke to Cordoba's corpse as if he was still alive for 6 days before burying him at sea, because he just couldn't stand being alone. Yeah. The idea of being alone was so horrific, he just left him there dead and kept talking to him like he was alive.
Wilson!
Yeah, but, Wilson's rotting. It's like... anyway, you have to keep... it's like Wilson, except seagulls keep trying to eat him. Yeah. It's like, anyway... Alvarenga staved off despair with his vivid imagination, and after 438 days at sea, he spotted land and landed on the Ebon Atoll, where Emmy Lobokameta and Russell Lakederick discovered him staring at their vacation house. They struggled to communicate with Alvarenga, trying to draw his situation using stick figures, because obviously they don't understand each other's language, but help was summoned. After 11 days of hospitalisation, he was cleared to return to home to El Salvador. 14 months. 438 days. No food, nothing, out to sea.
That's horrible.
That's insane. The idea of being locked in a room for that long is horrible, but you're at sea. The tide everything could change all the time.
Yeah. You're
sitting on a boat. It's a boat. Being at sea for that long anyway, you think, well, I'm definitely going to be tipped over at some point. He's probably been through how many storms, weather's going to shift all the time, and pissing down rain. Oh, man, that's like a nightmare. And that bummed me out. And I was like, ugh. But
nasty.
Don't get trapped at sea. See, we're quite lucky, because we're not near a body of water big enough to be everywhere's we're quite close. I suppose if you're on the we're on the east coast of the UK, in case you don't know. So we're if we drift anywhere, worst case scenario, end up in a Scandinavian country. It's that would be a really long, weird sideways drift. But the whole of Britain is surrounded by so many shipping lanes
and shopping trolleys
to grab hold of and just pull yourself back in. So you're fine. You're pretty much fine. And apparently unexploded mines, because that's a thing all around Britain coast. There's unexploded mines everywhere. There's a boat. This is one of the things we do, isn't it? There's an unexploded boat.
That's mentioned at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just they got buoys up and say, don't go near that. That's just this giant boat. That's a boat full of mines, and it's just like, don't knock it, don't knock it, guys.
But you say that there's plenty going to be a kid playing football near it.
Yeah. No, I found that on Google Maps.
Oh, did you?
I found it. It's off Shippey.
Oh no.
There's a boat, and it's sunk down. It was a mine laying boat, and it's full. It's fully loaded. If that went off, Shippey's ruined.
Yeah.
And well, more so. And yeah, Sheppey's even Sheppier.
Oh dear.
But anyway, that was a little side fact.
Side fact.
Ooh, sorry, I wasn't guffing. I was opening a bottle of fizzy thing. Okay, I'm not guffing. I've said guff for years.
Well, I can't. I used something else. Oh dear. I didn't use it from school. There's two words. One, wazzock. I've not used that for donkeys, and that came out not too long ago. But when I remember it, I'm just going to spurt it out at some point. There's something else that uses it. No. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, anyway. Stupid school sayings.
Trebuchet?
Yeah, that's because I use that all the time, but yeah.
Claddock.
Yep.
Crumpet?
Yep.
Glaswegian.
Yep.
Cunt.
That one, yes. Yeah, that one. All boys school, Temple Massive.
Yep.
Right. You ready for this? Is a famous.
Oh, you didn't. Oh shit. So take a handful of these because they're so rustly. Put some up on the shelf. Is the dog gone?
He's down there staring.
Okay,
at
all right, just put some over there. I'll put some over here. Then we don't need to. All right, so we're good to go. I'm gonna.
Yes, I've got yellow.
I'm gonna suck on some of these fuckers.
Jog. This is an advert paid for and presented from Johnson & Co. and Sons Limited, trading as Simple Slim and Choate Slamming Salmon Station's brand new tool. Do you like penis enlargers? They bring out a big vein. Now you can show her a good time. Now you're as long as a train. That's right, we said it. Penis enlargers. We here at Johnson & Co. and Sons Limited, trading as Simple Slim and Choate Slamming Salmon Station, we believe that this multifunctional device is worth singing about. So grab yours today. Then think about buying one of our penis enlargers. See what I've done there? The Stiff Express is coming into the station, but not stopping at the back, folks. You know what I mean? No. Not advisable to drink pina coladas whilst using the penis enlarger, or operating any heavy machinery, as a matter of fact, unless you're accompanied by Falcon, because then you look super cool. Yeah. So this is a famous person.
Sorry.
Sponsored by royalties. One of the famous people, physician Marie Curie, Polish-born and French naturalised. Marie Curie, who won 2 Nobel Prizes for discovering polonium and radium. At the turn of the 20th century, doctors and industries marketed products like radium enemas and water tonics. Madame Curie spoke out against treatments, warning that the effects of radiation to the human body were not well understood.
Sorry, polonium enemas.
Yeah.
They shot radioactive juice up arseholes.
Emma Asa.
Wow, okay,
Yeah.
sorry, no, I didn't know that was a thing.
I don't know why it would be a thing. Oh, do you need more radiation up your butt?
Well, it's just like, okay, you need an enema. What if, rather than just nice warm water, we put radiation up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that'll gets the barnacles off. Anyway, carry on, sorry.
So she spoke out against the treatments, warning that the effects of radiation on humans were not well understood. In 1934, she died of aplastic anemia caused by radiation poisoning, according to her obituary in the New York Times. So I read that. I sort of knew some of that already. But the little bit I thought, this just tickled me a bit. She was a bit of a crazy. She often carried at least 2 test tubes containing radioactive isotopes in her pocket and stored them in her desk drawer. She reportedly liked the blue and green lights that the radiation gave off in the dark. So she just used to carry around radioactive materials in tubes, keep them in a drawer, take them home, nightlight, just because they were pretty. So she's basically like a magpie.
Yeah. Or a moron, but you know. I suppose you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, pretty.
Yeah.
You don't know it's melting your eyes. You're like, what's that dribble coming out? Oh, I seem to be crying. Oh no, it's literally my face falling off.
Well, that's all my nice ones. It just goes down from here.
Okay. Well, look, I've got 10. I've still got 10.
What have I got?
So shall I do a couple? You said you haven't got as many.
So I've got the long ones. Oh, I've got 1. Oh, it's nasty. 2, 3.
Okay.
I've got 2 big ones and a medium.
Okay, I'll do 2 each time.
Cool.
Okay, so. Oh, you ready to start sucking? He's sucking. He's sucking. Good boy. Dick Williams.
I loved him.
Dick Williams was a 21-year-old tennis star with a promising athletic career in front of him when he decided to move to the United States from Switzerland in order to attend Harvard. What a winner. So, how are you going to get across to... This is the early 20th century. How do you get across to America?
P&O.
P&O didn't exist at this point.
Stella Sea Line.
You want to get on a big old boat, though?
Yeah.
So he did. He got on a big old boat. Only the bloody Titanic.
Oh, they didn't.
Williams was travelling with his father, Charlie to his friends, and they remained on board the sinking ship until the very end, helping passengers onto lifeboats like the legends they were. Tragically, as they went to board a lifeboat themselves, Charles was killed by a falling funnel. Williams ended up in the freezing sea and managed to climb into a collapsible lifeboat that had not been fully assembled. He was submerged in water up to his waist, and when the rescue ship, the Carpathia, arrived, only 11 out of around 30 passengers on board the half-sunken lifeboat were still alive. So he was just surrounded by corpses.
Wow.
Naturally, Williams was suffering from severe frostbite in his legs, because he's in North Sea, it's bloody cold. But when doctors on board the Carpathia told him they needed to be amputated, Williams said, "I refuse to give you permission, I'm going to need these legs." He then walked up and down the deck of the rescue ship to restore circulation, presumably while the doctor watched menacingly, twirling his tash and sharpening his blade. Anyway, 12 weeks later, Williams was competing in tennis tournaments again. He went on to graduate from Harvard, served in the US Army during World War I, for which he received the Croix de Guerre.
I can't see where you're pointing.
French words. There.
Oh, the cross heart, the Croix de Guerre.
Croix de Guerre. So he made it sound Frencher than I could.
Yeah, it might not be accurate, but yeah.
And so he survived the Titanic, which not many people did. After being a ledge and staying back and letting everyone else off first, still managed to get off, stay in the water, got frostbite, and then they said, "We're going to cut your damn legs off." He's like, "Fuck off, are you? I'll walk it off, love." And he walks it off, starts competing again, served in First World War, which he got the highest honour, and then claimed victory at Wimbledon, and the 1924 Olympics, and multiple US nationals. What a fucking ledge!
That's luck through and through. Well, dedication,
Mate. No, that guy's a ledge. I'm sorry, that's not luck. He did everything right. Like, that guy's a fucking. So, Dick Williams, a bloody captain. Anyway, I thought that was really cool.
That was. I was thinking at some point those legs are coming off, mate. Well, he's playing tennis. He's got little white shorts on. He's like 2 black crusty legs and so.
I didn't get how long he lived, but he lived a good old life and he died with his legs.
Because he ain't got no legs, but I love you all the same. So
I'll do a second one, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
I went the Bloodhound Gang. Sorry.
I didn't. Oh, is that what you were doing? I didn't know what you were doing. Sorry, I couldn't place it. I was just like, I'm desperately trying to make this make sense.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, yeah. But it's she ain't got no legs in the Bloodhound Gang version.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, it's classic.
I'll listen to it again.
Right.
Short of death itself, if something bad could happen to someone in the Second World War as a soldier, it happened to Louis Zamperini.
Oh, not Louis Zamperini.
Louis Zamperini had a bad time, okay? Let me tell you about it, right? His plane, he was a pilot, crashed into the Pacific. He survived on nearly nothing for 47 grueling days on a life raft. And then he was taken as a prisoner of war immediately afterwards. Before he was a soldier, Zamperini was an Olympian who represented the US in the track during 1936 Games. In 1940, after graduating from the University of Southern California, he enlisted, and 3 years later, his plane crashed. Zamperini, along with fellow crash survivors Russell Phillips and Francis McNamara, fought off hunger, thirst, heat, storms, and sharks. Constant sharks, while trying to avoid being shot by Japanese planes. McNamara perished after 33 days, but Zamperini and Phillips survived and got captured by Japanese forces 2 weeks later. Zamperini remained a prisoner until the end of the war, and after the fact reflected that while the beatings and the physical punishment were bearable to him, in part due to his athletic training, it was much more difficult to withstand the attempt to destroy your dignity. After returning home, Zamperini struggled with alcoholism, but straightened himself out after hearing Billy Graham preach. He later returned to Japan multiple times and helped to carry the Olympic torch for the 1998 Nagano Games. He died in 2014 at the age of 97.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like longevity. Like these people go through this stuff, their longevity, and it's like you still live to.
Mate, I think if you go through that shit and you're like, I'm not going to let this take me down.
Yeah.
Like I've literally punched off sharks, right? I've watched all my buddies die. I was beaten. I mean, he was a prisoner of war by the Japanese, who were not known for being cuddly in the Second World War, and he was being beaten every day for 3 years. You know that shit you saw in like Rambo 2, times that by 1,000, and then he's like. He's just like. I didn't get into specifics of what they got up to, but I mean, standard torture, they would do pretty horrific shit to you.
Some sort of electrical nipple clamps at some point.
I think it was before some of that, but
wasabi breakfast.
I think wasabi breakfast definitely, and you know. But yeah, so there's a couple of those. Go on.
Okay.
Tell me sad tales.
First sad tale number 1.
Radiation, no breathing. Oh,
Literally.
Oh dear.
So Hisashi Kwashi.
Say it Japanesey.
I can't because we're going.
Gets cancelled. Come on.
Hisashi Kwashi. I'm going to learn Japanese next time. I'm going to learn it.
I think you just have to say it angry, don't you?
Hisashi Kashiri. Yeah, it was.
Dude, I can't believe you did that.
Suffers history's worst radioactive burns. Then doctors kept him alive for 83 excruciating days against his will.
Oh, dude.
So, after... Oh, I'm saying so again. Stop it. Do it.
Do you have anything there?
No. No Kenya, no nothing.
I checked.
No. So, oh dear. Right.
So, right.
After a fatal accident in Japan's Toshikamura nuclear power plant in 1999, Hisashi Aoshi lost most of his skin and began crying blood before his agony finally ended. The nuclear accident began before noon, September the 30th, 1999, at the nuclear power plant in Toshikamura, Japan. With an obscene lack of safety measures and abstinence of fatal shortcuts, yet determined to meet a deadline, the Japan Nuclear Fuel Conservation Co. JCO, told Hisashi and 2 other workers to mix the new batch of fuel. But the 3 men were untrained in the process and mixed their materials by hand.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Then
By hand?
Then they...
It's a nuclear power plant though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, can you mix these nuclear fuels together? Yeah, I'll just use my hands.
Oh, no, don't use your hands. Just dip your dick in it.
I'll
and stir
dip
it
my
up.
cock. It's a good little stir. It's good, yeah.
But then, you think that's worse? Then they accidentally poured 7 times the amount of uranium into the inappropriate tank.
Just fucking eyeball it, yeah?
Oh, exactly. That's like me when I was cooking risotto the other day. That looks about 300 grams.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you're doing that with nuclear stuff. No, I'm going to balls for that.
Yeah. I'll ruin my rice and my life.
Oh no! But I was crying. Just not blood like this guy.
If you work at the nuclear power plant, I would say it's worth getting the scales out.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Maybe
and a fresh battery.
A measuring jug.
Proper Pyrex.
One of those ones with a little digital thing at the bottom, you know.
So he poured 7 times the amount of uranium into an improper tank. Hisashi was standing directly over the vessel as gamma rays flooded the room. Whilst the plant, the local villages were evacuated, Aoshi's unappreciated ordeal had just begun. Kept in a special radiation ward. Is that? Oh no, I wasn't.
What the fuck?
Kept in a special radiation ward to protect him from hospital-borne pathogens, Hashi leaked fluids and cried for his mother. He regularly flatlined from heart attacks, only to be revived at the insistence of his family. His only escape would be a final cardiac arrest. 83 long days later.
His family wouldn't let him die.
No, so he's in hospital.
Begging to
last
die.
little bit. So he's crying blood. He's asking for his mum. I want my mum and stuff like that. It's because he's obviously he can't. I don't know. He's done all this horrible shit. His skin's burning off. He's
crying
done that.
blood.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if it. It's so far past the point. You know you're going to die. It's just a matter of time. It's like, just let me die.
But then his family's been like consistent. I suppose if you've got to do what like your family's wishes, if you're incompetent of not being able to judge something yourself. Oh, my skin's burning off. I'm crying blood. I feel crap. I feel horrible. I want to die. Please let me die. Please let me die.
All right.
But your family's saying, nah, let him live. He'll be all right. It's only a flesh wound.
If my family are listening, and I know it's unlikely, but if a similar circumstance does befall me, and my skin's come off, and I'm having a cry and blood's coming out, and the prognosis is not good. If my heart stops, I would like to give you permission. Sorry, I'm still pasteling. To just let me go, because that sounds like he had a terrible time.
Yeah. Well,
Poor bastard.
Yeah.
Literally torture. They just tortured him.
That was the one I just read.
I always think at times like that, it's like, what, you're just going to remember that. When you think of your, I don't know, your loved one, and that you put them through that, that's all you're going to remember.
Yeah.
You're not going to remember, like, I remember a time we played catch. No, I remember horrific, like, blood screams. 83 days of horrific skin flaps falling off him.
Yeah.
And you know, just like, yeah.
George, remember that day when we was moving you into your new house and you accidentally kicked the door with your little toe and it really, really hurt? Wasn't that the worst pain ever? No, I'm sitting here crying blood, being kept alive. I've had heart attacks like 3 times a day, but it's alright because they get me just at the last minute. It's like when you go to sneeze and it's really horrible because you don't sneeze, but it's like you're having a heart attack. You're having a shit of a time, but then they're like, "Oh, you're back in the room, mate."
Plus, heart attacks probably. And I bet painkillers weren't working very well. I bet paracetamol weren't cutting it, was it?
No, they need something like proper.
I want, yeah. Give me the best shit ever, all of it.
and then times it by 3.
Yeah. Good lord.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nasty.
that's horrible. I'll bring it back though. Start sucking young Jimothy. Harrison Akini, a 29-year-old tugboat cook, survived underwater in a tiny air pocket for almost 3 days in 2013 after his ship capsized and sank, killing all 11 other crew members. The boat sank. A rush of water forced Akini into the toilet that would be his refuge for the next 60 or so hours. He was trapped almost 100 feet below the surface, wearing under his underwear in the freezing darkness.
No.
Pitch black, underwater, 100 foot down, in a little air pocket in the toilet.
That sounds horrible.
For 3 days. Eventually, South African rescue divers, who were there to recover bodies, heard his desperate banging on the wall. Getting Akini back to the shore was actually very difficult. It was a perilous task, since his heart had absorbed potentially fatal amounts of nitrogen from being so far down.
Damn.
Because I think 100 foot is not nothing.
No.
So his rescuers brought him to the surface in a diving bell, after which he had to spend 2 days decompressing in a decompression chamber. Oh. One professional diver remarked that Akini's survival was phenomenal, since recreational divers would spend no more than 20 minutes at those depths, and he'd been there for 3 days.
Jesus Christ.
Like
a pro.
Well, pros wouldn't have done that, because they'd be like... So yeah, he shouldn't have survived, and it's kind of amazing that he did, but horrible. Fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Also, the boat was upside down, it capsized, so he's upside down in the toilet cubicle.
I'll send that in Jackass.
Yes, I'm sure the floating turds were the thing that really bummed him out in that scenario. Just like he's sitting there in a little air pocket and there's just floaters just moving around him. In South Africa, they got great whites galore. Actually, not 100 foot down. That's the one upside. There's like they're not that deep. He's below all the great whites.
But then you got the crazy shit fish down the bottom of the deep blues.
I guess so, but I mean he's in a boat still.
Yeah.
He's in a boat. He's in a book.
Yeah.
In May 2000, an orthopaedic surgeon in training, Dr. Anna Bagenholm, 29, was skiing on a familiar trail outside Narvik, Norway, when she lost her balance on a gully and fell headfirst into an icy river. Oopsie! Her head and body became stuck under the thick ice. She managed to find an air pocket so she could keep breathing. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but... So she's fucking wedged upside down, head first, underwater, in an air pocket, under loads of ice. She's wedged in there, the ice is forming around her, she's stuck underground. After 40 minutes of struggling to free herself without success, the exhausted skier was in the throes of hypothermia, a potentially lethal condition which the body loses heat faster than it can generate it, which renders the heart, nervous system and other organs unable to work properly. It took another 40 minutes for her companions to cut her out of the ice and drag her out of the cold water. So she'd been in there an hour and 20 minutes at that point, right?
No.
Upside down, head first in water. By then, her body temperature dropped to 57 degrees Fahrenheit, or 13.7 degrees Celsius.
I was just going to ask that, thank you.
13.7 degrees is like nothing. Her vital signs were so low that clinically she was dead, and had been for some time. Normal body temperature is 98.6 Fahrenheit, or 37 degrees Celsius.
I know that one.
But emergency doctors managed to revive her by pumping her blood through a special machine that warmed it as it took blood out, warmed it and put it back in. Yes, they have that in Norway. I guess hypothermia is a common enough thing, so they have the blood warmulizer. After several months of rehabilitation, she returned to normal health, except for a persistent tingling sensation in her hands. Bagenholm's case led to the development of therapeutic hypothermia as a protective measure for some stroke and epileptic patients. In 2013, she was working as a senior radiology consultant at the same hospital where her life was saved.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, but yeah, she got...
Well, not what she...
Dog!
Nope.
Stupid arsehole.
Not what she's gone through, but the fact that she's gone back to the hospital is yeah.
I kind of... The people who go through shit and then crack on, that you got to respect that, but...
Yeah.
Fuck being stuck in ice. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 more.
6 more.
6 more. So if I do, you got.
I've got two more.
So if you do 1, I do 3.
Then I do 1. Then you finish the last 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Right. So this is my Robert Peabody.
Ah yes.
On July the 24th, 1964,
yes.
a fatal critical accident occurred at the United Nuclear Corporation's Wood River Junction nuclear facility. This facility was designed to recover highly enriched uranium from scrap metal left over from fuel element products. Scrap metal left over from fuel element production. Technician Robert Peabody intended to add a bottle of trinitrothiane.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Yeah, standards, to remove organics from a tank containing radioactive uranium-235 in a sodium carbonate solution. He mistakenly added a bottle of uranium solution instead.
Derp-de-derp.
With so much uranium in one container, it reached critical mass and reached knocking Peabody onto the floor, splashing him with radioactive liquid and exposing him to a fatal radiation dose of 10,000 rads. So 10,000 rads. 1 rad equals 0.01, which is 1,000 times more than the lethal dose.
So 1 rad's more is 1,000 times more than lethal dose.
Yeah.
And he had
10,000 of them.
10,000 times 1,000 times the lethal dose.
Yeah.
That's too much lethal.
Do you want to know what that is the equivalent of?
Please tell me.
That is the equivalent of 700,000 chest X-rays.
That's too many.
Yeah, that's far too many. And again, I'm seeing the key thing between these ones. Oh, he accidentally is. Honestly, if you're going to do this job, fucking training is key.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, but I mean, like if you do any job these days, you have to do so much training to do anything. You know, like like you have to give sensitivity training. You have to do all this, right? But you think, like, if you work in like an office, you have to go to like seminars to like how should you refer to colleagues and all this shit. But if you work in nuclear, it's like, oh, I thought I was grabbing the brown sauce, but I grabbed the ketchup by mistake. It's just like, what in the actual shit? That's insane. They're just like slopping it on each other, like, oh, just mixed it with my hands. Just fucking, oh.
I got me some mop sauce.
New series on this.
I've started watching it.
Oh, motherfucker, I didn't know it was out yet. Okay.
Oh.
Shit, yeah?
All I'm saying.
Go on, tell me.
So I watched the first one.
Yeah.
And it's barbecues, American, Texas, all that sort of stuff. One of the guys, he's from Egypt.
Oh, okay.
And he moved over to Texas because he sees a family, and they introduced him to barbecue, and he fell in love with it. So then the first round they say about, it says like your story of what you're doing, and the stuff that he's making infused with the Egyptian take on it, mate, it's fucking amazing.
Okay.
I want Egyptian barbecue. I'm just saying that now.
Okay. No, I'm down for this, man. That sounds awesome. Okay. Life sure can be crazy, can't it? And you got these little babies, little rugrats running around. But you can't spend your whole life changing them. It's too much. Oh, you've gone again. Oh my God. What are we going to do? Introducing Pampers XL. How about you change them, I don't know, half as much, a quarter as much. More nappy, more crappy. Change your Pampers less. The kids don't mind. Okay, Roy Sullivan.
Oh yeah, Roy, yeah.
You know Roy.
Yeah.
Often referred to, jokingly, as the human lightning rod, was a remarkable individual who achieved worldwide recognition for his extraordinary encounters with lightning.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Let me tell you a little story.
What an accolade.
Born February 7th, 1912 in Virginia, USA, Sullivan began his career as a park ranger in Shenandoah National Park in 1936. However, it was his inexplicable series of lightning strikes that would define his life. Throughout his lifetime, he was struck by lightning 7 times, earning him a place in the Guinness World Book of Records for the person with the most recorded lightning strikes. Now, his remarkable story of survival and resilience made him a living legend. Despite the immense odds about being struck by lightning even once, he managed to endure multiple encounters with the deadly force of nature. His experiences not only left him with physical scars, like all over his body, but also inspired awe and fascination in those who heard his story. Sullivan's life serves as a testament to the unpredictable and awe-inspiring power of nature, as well as an incredible resilience of the human spirit in the face of extraordinary adversity. He passed away in 1983, but his legacy as a symbol of one man's incredible journey through a series of unlikely and harrowing events. So it's I don't know, it's good. But look, it was, so he's born in 1912, 83, was that 71? 70...
About that.
Yeah, 71. So, lightning strike, 7 times, survived them all. A lot of people don't survive one. Like, it really, you never know how much lightning you're getting struck by. That's the thing, right? But he's out there, he carried on work as a park ranger throughout. And he kept going back to work, and every time it hospitalised him, he was out for more and more time. And apparently, but for the most part, he carried on his life. Like, he'd get scarred, he'd get burnt, he'd get hurt. I think in one instance he was in a coma for a short time, but he just cracks on. He just cracked on.
Was he just really tall, or did he have like a little hat on with a spike on the top of it, a metal spike? I don't know why.
I don't think it was known. There was no like reason. Some people seem to be more likely to get struck by lightning than others. It's really weird. Apologies. Hopefully that wasn't too horrific. I got a bit sneezy, I'm sorry. Must be those dogs. Better get rid of them.
Yeah, let's put this one in the bin.
Alright, next person.
Let's
talk about paragliding. Now, paragliding, or stupid country, a sport known for its breathtaking aerial escapades and serene glides over picturesque landscapes. However, for Iwa Wisniewski, this adventure turned into a harrowing life or death ordeal. In 2007, she found herself in the heart of a paragliding world championship in Australia. Here, thrill seekers chased their dreams in the open skies. Little did she know that the tranquil atmosphere would soon transform into a battleground with nature. A colossal thunderstorm, an unpredictable force that wasn't forecast, swept across the sky, seizing Wisniewski and a paraglider in its vicious grasp. The monstrous storm lifted her to an astonishing altitude of 32,000 feet. Or
Wow.
10 kilometres, as we would
I was
call
going
it.
to say, we learned this from
Well, no, it was 33,000, wasn't it? But this is
Yeah.
9,753 metres, I checked. So just under 10 kilometres up. So that's not where paragliders are supposed to sit.
No.
And obviously, paraglider, if you don't know, is basically... Imagine someone put a wing over a bike, and that's basically what you're working with. So she's just sitting on this fucking thing. She's strapped into it, but she's just hanging off effectively like a little... I don't know, paper wing almost. Here she confronted unrelenting challenges, bone-chilling temperatures, oxygen deprivation, and the relentless fury of the storm. She was up there for about 12 hours, and she managed to slowly decline over the course of that time. It took a long time, and she was miles, fucking obviously like I think the distance, but she was so many miles off course. I had no idea. So I think she landed in the field like miles and miles away, but she recovered quickly, and she was fine.
I can't imagine being stuck in the air for 12 hours. Well, you're going to need a piss at some point.
I think she just go.
Yeah.
I mean, gives a fuck.
I suppose. Who's going to tell you off?
Yeah.
The Sky Police come, you can't piss here.
It's like, can I have a lift? No. All right, so I do 3, didn't I? So
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, one more, and then you do the last one, and I'll do my 3.
Cool.
Now this one you'll know.
Okay.
Have you seen the movie 127 Hours?
Yes. Is that the rock one?
He's stuck between a rock and a
Yeah.
stuck between a rock and a hard place.
not
Another rock actually.
funny.
Anyway, so Aaron Ralston, you know how the story goes, okay?
Yeah.
But I'll give you a quick recap because it's still kind of amazing. In 2003, Ralston was hiking alone in the Blue John Canyon in Canyonlands National Park in southeast Utah. When he was descending into one of the remote and exceedingly narrow canyons, a boulder fell and trapped his right arm. For 5 days, he survived with a packet of water, packed water and snacks, hoping someone would find him. Trouble was, not only was the spot remote, but he also hadn't told anyone where he was going. No one knew where he was, and it was not a common route.
No.
Realising he may never be found and running out of supplies, he was forced to amputate his arm by cutting through the bone using a multi-tool that had included a knife. After freeing himself, he began the 7-mile walk back to his truck. During the journey, a family discovered him and alerted authorities. He had lost, in the time he was there, he'd lost 40 pounds during the ordeal, obviously including his arm.
Yeah.
And somehow, miraculously, avoided bleeding to death. He now continues to mountaineer and works as a motivational speaker.
That's a good lesson learned, isn't it?
I think so. Are you letting out Dogford?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a whiffly fuck, isn't he? Go on. Go out. You want to go out? Oh my god.
We changed his mind then.
Yeah. The Dogcast dog is not the best dog. Yeah.
Plus,
Okay.
it's like learn from my mistakes sort of thing. It's like, I've done this,
Alright.
and just don't do it.
Right, you got enough?
Oh, there we go.
Well, you this there for,
Oh, yeah,
for the next one. I've got a couple. I'll get chewing.
All right, so
Tell me interesting and fun tale.
Bogorski. I'm going to apologise now for all the names that I've been saying. If I've said it wrong, well, I'm sorry, I can't say them, but I'm doing my best.
I'm not going to apologise for mine. I fucked all mine up. On purpose. Fuck them.
Right, Dave, then you... No, I'm not going to say so. Bogorski, U70, that one.
Synchrotron.
Synchrotron.
U70 Synchrotron. Yeah.
So, right, U70 Synchrotron in Protovian, Russia, was one of the most advanced particle accelerators on Earth. So that's the name. The U70 is the name of the particle accelerator. And it was one of the most advanced ones on Earth. One rainy day in July of 1978, our unfortunate hero spotted yet another malfunctioning piece of equipment. To make the necessary repairs, Bogorski would need to step inside the main beam tunnel, so he called the control room and asked for the accelerator to be turned off temporarily. That's a standard thing. That's what we do. The operator did not actually deactivate the accelerator. Bogorski stepped inside, bent over, and began to inspect the faulty detector. Since the particle beam was invisible, he had no idea what was about to hit him until it was too late. In a fraction of a second, billions of ultraviolet protons ripped through his head, shredding one cell after another in a 3x2mm swath of destruction through his left eye and brain.
Oh, fuck.
The scientist saw a bright flash and realised immediately what has happened. Okay, so he's realised that he's in a particle accelerator.
Oh,
shit's going on.
Yeah, because I did something. Yeah.
So what are you going to do? So the beam passed through. So if the beam had passed a little lower or a little to Bogorski's right, it would have hit his brainstem, probably killing him instantly. A little to his left, and would have caused him to puncture a hole into one of the large blood vessels in his left temporal cortex, resulting in a fatal stroke. There is hundreds of ways one could die from radiation damage to the brain, and even if he made it through the coming weeks, he still faced several cell damages and high risk of developing cancer. For the time being, though, there was nothing he could do but wait. So, Bogorski, he calmly completed the repairs, carried on, and made a record of the accident in a lab notebook. So you've had brain zap, you've seen a light, you notice this deadly thing has gone through your fucking face.
Radiation beam through your eye.
Yeah.
Good fuck.
And it's like started to rip his cells. And I'm going to just carry on with my job. I'll put it in the accident book. Jesus. Yeah. Because
I'd like to log an accident, please.
Yeah. So then he reported to an intensive care unit in Moscow. Some of the country's best radiologists were assigned to this case, but there's little they could do. Over the next few days, Bogorski's face swelled to a hideous size, and the skin on his head began to peel off.
Oof.
The damage to his nervous system was extensive enough to completely paralyse the left side of his face. He began to experience seizures. The doctor resigned themselves to watch him die. Then, astonishingly, a miracle happened. Bogorski began to recover. Only a small part of his brain was harmed, and as it happened, this area was destroyed so completely that tumours could not form. Meanwhile, the rest of his brain simply worked around the injury. His neurons reacted along new pathways. Eventually, he regained almost all of his previous intellectual capacity in a year and a half. Bogorski was back to work in the accelerator, and he's still alive today.
Mate.
So I thought I'd finish off on that fluff piece, but there's a whole lead up to it.
Not a fluff piece, that's like...
No, yes, it's the...
So it's basically, the brain reroutes itself, doesn't it? That seems to be...
It
really
adapted.
good at that. Yeah.
I thought the whole description... Right, you've seen a flashing light, and you think, oh shit, Dave didn't turn it off. But it's ripping my cells apart in my face.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing of... if I went a little bit to the left, that's it, I'm fucked, I'm straight down.
But he's smart enough to know, like, okay, so there's literally nothing I can do now. He probably at that point was like, fucked it.
Well, if he'd done the old Peter Griffin, just holding his head rolling around.
Probably did.
Yeah.
He might have said a swear.
Oh.
Poop.
Fuckowski. Dogcast is back.
Dogcast has resumed. Okay, right, so I've got my final few. Douglas Mawson.
Oh yeah.
All right. Cannibal or hero?
Okay, yeah.
Those are the only two options. He's either a cannibal or a hero. He can't be a hero cannibal. Mawson was an Australian geologist and an explorer who infamously explored a frozen continent with a team of fellow adventurers in 1912. In December of that year, Mawson and two other expedition members left the main base at Commonwealth Bay, embarking on a 300-mile exploration into the interior of the continent to gather scientific data and specimens. Tragedy followed. One of the men, I shouldn't make fun, this is fucked. One of the men, a young British soldier named Belgrave Ninnis, which is a brilliant name, plummeted down a crevasse on a sledge, along with several of their best dogs and many of the team's supplies. For several weeks, the two others, beset by scurvy and other illnesses, struggled to return to camp, subsisting first on our remaining dogs and then on starvation rations. Ultimately, Xavier Mertz, a Swiss mountaineer and skiing champion, died from exhaustion, starvation, and possibly toxicity from eating dogs' livers.
Oh, no.
I thought I'd give that detail.
Oh, lovely.
Determined to return with the research data, Mawson battled the elements for 30-some days on his own, finally stumbling into the base camp in February of 1913, emaciated, frostbitten and exhausted, only to discover he'd missed the ship to retrieving the rest of the crew by hours. While deemed a survivor hero, he was later knighted, and his face now adorns the Australian $100 bill.
Oh, nice.
There are questions about what extreme measures he may have taken to stay alive. A 2013 biography of Mawson suggests he may have purposely set his and Mertz's starvation rations at a level that would have hastened his companion's death, and that he boiled and ate Mertz's corpse in order to survive. I don't know what that's based on, but his families decry all allegations. But I feel like that's the sort of thing you wouldn't suggest unless there was some evidence of it.
He had his t-shirt wrapped around his napkin.
Yeah, it's like... but, yeah. Alright, I've got two more. Mauro Prosperi is an Italian police officer who gained worldwide fame after getting lost in the Sahara Desert in 1994.
Okay.
Do you know the guy?
No. Something's ringing a bell with it.
He's a keen athlete, long-distance runner. Mauro took part in the 1994 Marathon of the Sands in Morocco. It's a 6-day-long endurance race in one of the driest and most barren environments on the planet. So this is a common thing. They still do it to this day, right? Now, during the race, there was a sandstorm, and it caused Prosperi, who was then 39 years old, married and fathered 3 children, to become disoriented and lose his way. One day, after going off track, he found himself in an abandoned Muslim shrine in Algeria. In order to survive, he killed and ate bats. For fluid, he was forced to drink his own urine. Yeah, well, you know.
Bear Grylls?
Bear Grylls, he's just doing the grills. Dog, what the shit, man? Just sit the fuck down, you little rat fuck. Just stop. Just stay. I'm going to have to kick him out. He's mental today. Rats and piss, yeah. He would drink his own urine, lick dew off the rocks, and suck moisture out of wet wipes.
Oh.
Assuming he would never be found, he slit his wrists with a penknife from his supplies. However, it was such a dry heat that the wounds instantly clotted, and he was forced to go back in the desert and attempt to find help. He couldn't even kill himself. For 9 days, he walked through the desert and ate insects and reptiles. Finally, he found a small village. From there, he was flown to a hospital where the doctors said his liver had almost completely failed from dehydration. Having travelled 180 miles in all, Prosperi lost 35 pounds in body weight during the ordeal. Bear in mind, he was an athlete anyway. He'd been running his whole life. 35 pounds when you're that skinny anyway, or that lean, is probably pretty... it took several months before he could even eat solid foods at all. But he remained an enthusiastic runner and even returned and completed the race in 2012.
Wow.
Which it seems to be a theme. People that go through shit, they're like, mate, I'm doing it right. Fuck that. Alright. Last one. January 23rd, 2006. Ricky McGee.
Huh.
He's driving through the Australian outback on his way to his new job when he saw some hitchhikers.
Okay.
Can't go wrong, right?
No, you can't go on picking up Australian hitchhikers. I've not seen any films about that sort of thing.
He pulled over and let the hitchhikers on and gave him a lift. And then the next thing he knows, he's waking up in a shallow grave. In the outback wilderness, with dingoes scratching at the plastic bag that he's wrapped in.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like fucking full-on nightmare, right? Unable to locate his car and clueless about his exact whereabouts, he managed to fight off the... he's scared off the dingoes. But I think they're pretty... I think dingoes are small dogs. I don't think they're that big, but...
Yeah.
Either way, he was pretty fucked up. But he managed to get the dingoes on. He didn't know where the fuck he goes. He's in the interior of Australia. He doesn't know where he is. He was forced to survive for 71 days in the centre of Australia, in the perilous terrain. He constructed a humpy, which is a basic form of shelter, using branches and leaves, and says he mainly lived off eating frogs, leeches, snakes, and drinking his own urine. Seems to be the thing to do.
Again, everyone's
doing it.
That's the in thing now.
Oh yeah, no, you got to drink some piss. Anyway, so at night he barricaded his shelter with rocks to prevent dingoes from trying to eat him as he slept, because it was a constant thing. They knew where he was.
Yeah.
Eventually, his workers on a remote cattle ranch stumbled upon McKee, who had become skeletally thin, having lost more than 100 pounds. Now, I'm hoping he was a fat fuck to start with, but he was taken to a local hospital and treated for severe dehydration and malnutrition. What exactly happened to him remains a bit of a mystery. Authorities originally expressed scepticism about the story. He claimed the hitchhikers likely drugged him because he didn't wake up injured. His vehicle was never found. Now, I was going to include a picture of him because there is a picture of Ricky McGee. I'm going to show. I will quickly Google it just to show James, and you can hear his reaction.
Ricky, now, is this pre or post?
Apparently, they're trying to make a film about him as well.
I told you, that sounds like the sort of film. Travelling in Australia to a new job. Picks up. Oh, okay.
He was very skinny.
Yeah.
Very, very fucking skinny.
It's just the arms. It's like
yeah.
His arms got pelvis.
It's the weird hip bones and he was so thin. Frogs aren't a good source of food, guys. Don't eat frogs. Fucking French. But that was him after he left hospital. He was recovering. So that's him down the road from recovering. Yeah. So he was worse than that.
Nah.
But yeah. Oh, that's it. Before and after. There you go.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, it's quite,
different guy. But he was, presumably, he was like a pretty built guy. Like he's in good shape.
Yeah.
The sort of guy who would happily pick up hitchhikers and not worry about it. But crazy days. And there's still some scepticism. No one knows who drugged him or what happened. No one knows. He doesn't have any memory of it. The police say they didn't. I don't think there's a crime report. But they want to make a film about it because, of course, they do. Because it's Australia. But, yeah. Shouldn't have survived. Did. 71 days. Dingoes.
Dingoes.
Fucking dingoes. Always trying to eat my legs.
Yeah, that's what they do.
They do. They love it. I wouldn't survive 71 days in Australia. I might not survive one.
I've seen some of those spiders.
Mate, I saw this. It was horrible. It was on, I think it was on TikTok or some shit. And it was a little girl playing with spiders.
Oh no.
And they were the size of like a plate. And there's a couple of them crawling all over her back. And she was like putting her hand around it. It was like climbing up her arm. And she was like, "Hey, spider friend," all this. And I was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" So, alright, we've done all our facts. We've exfaculated. James, next week, what do you want to do? What would bring you joy? What do you think you can do a good something and it's not going to make you sad?
I think I could do a good, informative piece about... I don't know.
What do you do, James?
Oh, not much soon.
I wasn't trying to bum you out. You're a drummer.
Oh yeah.
What if you just did drum-related facts?
I could do that.
Drums.
But the thing is, right? I like to play. If I'm going to be doing drum facts and things like that, I'm going to be talking about drums. I'm going to be tapping on stuff. I might tap on the desk accidentally.
All right. We'll tape your hands together, okay?
Okay.
You can just tap on yourself and there's no big deal.
Okay.
He's masturbating furiously.
Oh no, it's all over me.
Good rhythm though, really, really firm, strong strokes. So, I feel like you're doing drums. What am I doing?
Don't know. Do you do bass?
It makes sense, doesn't it? I was thinking that's probably the obvious one. All right, I'll do bass. You do drums. Drum and bass next week. Boo boo.
Sponsored by Donald Duck. That's what people want to do. Yeah, let's bring the drums, bring the noise.
Bring the noise. Okay, all right, that's cool. Next week sorted. We crushed it. We crushed them. We crushed you. We crushed that. Even worse than that rock that crushed that guy's arm. Yeah. Happy Christmas, everyone. 21 episodes. 21. Old enough to drink in America now. Yeah, boy.
And next week I might not be on this zero alcohol stuff.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh, because I'm not going to be on any medication for my breakage now.
Oh, cool. I don't know what next week we can do. I'm gonna drink some beer in a sec. I've been on some Irish coffee and a Irish Coke So I already up some things, but
Maybe you need to drink some ostrich tears.
I'll drink some ostrich tears in just a minute. I do love an ostrich tear or two. The ostrich crying. So yeah, we'll wait on next week. It's fine. Have a lovely week, everyone, and drink Marmite.
I think that's a new sponsor, isn't it?
I think drink Marmite.
Don't like it.
Yeah, but it comes in a nice, easy to drink cup now.
Does it?
No.
I was going to
Who
say.
the fuck drinks Marmite?
Katie.
It's a silly thing.
Sorry,
I'm saying.
no, Bovril. Katie will drink a Bovril drink, but then lots of people do.
Yeah, I don't really get that.
I don't.
I mean, the Bovril's it's a bit like gravy, isn't it?
I think it's all the same. Marmite, Bovril, that's all the same. Ick Brown.
I quite like Vegemite.
Is that not the same?
It's a little bit fruitier.
It's the same, but Australian.
It is, but it's. I don't know what it is better though. If you got Marmite and you get Vegemite, you're like Vegemite. Oh yeah, Vegemite.
All right. So what about next week? We do not drum and bass. No, we do Vegemite, Marmite, and Bovril.
There's not enough there, mate. There's not 20 facts on those on spreadable paste that James doesn't like.
Have you not seen there's different colours of lids?
Marmite
yellow, Bovril red. I don't even know Vegemite.
Not that I'm the sort of person to say that won't be interesting on a podcast, a non-visual medium, but coloured lids on a spoken word medium, I'm sure would be the hottest shit. That would be the mad note. But possibly, I don't think it will.
Okay.
I'm not trying to shit on your parade, but maybe your parade needs shit on it.
We'll save it for the best of episode.
Sure we will. Night, God bless, have a lovely evening.
Bye, happy Kwanzaa.
Why don't you come on down to Dan's Perfection Boutique? How would you like a brow lift? Your eyes widened? How about a good old-fashioned breast enlargement or boob job? We can make them bigger, smaller if you like that sort of thing, or we could replace your nipples with tiny dicks if you like. Or just form your tits into one super boob. How about 8 equal boobs across your torso like some sort of sexy cow lady? We can do it. The science is here. We got it. How about good old-fashioned liposuction? Wang extension or flap reduction? Maybe you like dicks for fingers or vaginas for eyes? How about turning your legs into 2 big fat cocks? Or we can suck all that fat from your cheeks so you can have that wonderful vapid model style. You can put it straight in your ass. If you can imagine it, we can pretty much do it. We can implant muscles into your calves, biceps, triceps, pecs, traps, with your forearms. How about knee extensions? Muscular knees? How about dicks for knees? Or dicks for elbows? Elbow dicks? What if you build you 8 prehensile, multi-jointed dick legs so you can move around like some multi-dick tarantula nightmare? That's going to bound to ring someone's bell. Dan's Perfection Boutique. We can make you better with more dicks.